out the oven, straight to the bank. Bentayga smelling like dank. Seats, somebody died on them. Kitty looking like somebody cried on it. Ooh, what you looking at? What you looking at? Body like cinnamon roll. Icing on the top, if you got it, let's go.
All right, hello. Welcome to another Grown Ass Women Shit.
Yes.
Y'all notice something a little different? We've been trying something a little different the past couple of weeks.
Yes.
First of all, it's just the duo.
It's just us this week, though. We got guests coming.
Yes,
they
yes.
coming.
Just us. That's all. Y'all. We here though. We
just
here.
the two of us. What's that? I saw.
Yeah, it's a bunch of duo songs. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Just us.
Yeah. So we decided to talk about why the hell do we do what we do.
Yeah.
So today we are going to be talking about Miss Sonia B. Y'all see she done changed her name and shit.
I'm brand new. The B is for brand new. Bitch.
Brand motherfucking new. So,
the B is for brand new, bitch.
Right.
Yes.
Brand new bitch. That's funny. Yeah, I like that.
Yes.
So we're gonna talk about why Sonia B became a sexologist. I mean, she gets this question a lot.
I do.
She was on the show last night. People like you what?
Right.
Clutching pearls and shit.
I get pearls clutched.
Yes.
All the time. So we're going to get into that conversation and just let you. We want to tell y'all why we do what we do and what made us even. Yes. Right. Now, before we launch into all of that, I just want to remind everybody that we go live. No, we stream. We don't go live, but we stream every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern for No Bra Wednesday, where the girls are loose. I put my bra on for the show. I was like, girl, what you doing? Take the damn bra up. Girl, I was thinking I was on another show, so I was putting my shit on to get ready for it. So I had to take that. Blasphemy. So anyway, but we go with No Bra Wednesday, where we let the girls loose, honey, because the girls they be like, bitch, let me tell you, they be dropping it low. So anyway, and we say it with our breasts. And just as a reminder, the second Wednesday of each month is Cocktails with a Sexologist. We're going to be doing my interview this week. So next week we got some cocktails for you with the sexologist. Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna be talking about that. The conversation is gonna be what that mouth do, and we're going to have part two, and we're gonna have a roundtable discussion. So I want any ladies that want to talk about your experience with oral pleasure, please hit a girl up, hit a bitch up, because we want to talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. Let's talk about it. So anyway, so just let us know. And just as a reminder, the last Wednesday of each month is What Money Moves with Us, where we get our money straight, bitch. We're gonna get that bedroom straight and the money straight. Bedroom straight, the money straight. Yes.
I have been having so many money conversations. Lord.
Have you? Okay, we can't wait. Your pasta's ready to unload. And as we said, we will have guests, so there are people coming. Yes, so we're about to get back into our normal swing of things. So, so just remember, tell all your friends, put it on your calendar, and check us out Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, or you can always catch the replay. So, anytime, any place.
Turn us on your walk. On your walk while you exercising. That's what I do. I listen to my podcast. I listened to like 100 podcasts when I was driving this weekend. So yes, listen to us while you're doing stuff, cleaning.
Exactly.
Whatever
you're doing, just listen. Yes.
Yeah. We don't have no jail. We free.
Yes.
So whenever you feel like it, turn the shit on.
Whenever you feel like it, exactly. Yes. You ain't even gotta watch us. You can just listen.
Yeah, that's what I do with my salt, pepper, ketchup when I turn them on.
Girl, salt. Y'all gotta check out Salt, Pepper, Ketchup. That podcast is something to girl.
Salt, pepper, ketchup.
Yeah. You've got to tune in because they keeps it real, bitch, and it's about healing and trauma, and it's a real conversation.
So it's pretty damn sweet.
Yeah,
so
you want to check it out.
But
yes,
today.
Yeah, today
we are into we just
it's a conversation like we always do. It ain't never no goddamn never.
We be talking.
Yeah, we be talking and
we
talking shit, handling shit, and what is it? Talk. We didn't forget the slogan. Dropping shit. We talking shit, dropping shit, and handling shit. Hello. Yeah. So
that's we grown ass women.
Grown ass.
Don't hold it against us now.
No.
We are.
No.
So now with this conversation. So first of all,
yes.
How did you become a sexologist?
Girl. Tell the people how. So, well, before actually being certified, I started teaching people about sex a long time ago. So first of all, for those of you who don't know, sex is near and dear to my heart. That is like, one of my favorite activities. I mean, I'm Oshun. I can't help it. Yep. Oshun is the goddess of sex, money. Prosperity, abundance, sexiness, enjoying life, arts, all of that stuff. So that's my energy. I'm Oshun, and so
her heart don't pump blood. It pump cum, y'all.
Yeah, you did not, girl. Yes, all day. So that's always been, something that to me I am just always had I'm just attracted to the topic. I'm like, if we at dinner talking and the topic of sex come up, I'm like, what are we talking about? Yeah. It's somebody. Now, don't excuse that for meaning that I am easy. That does not mean that. It just means I love talk. I just want to make sure we clear because some people, yeah, exactly. Like the person from the show, girl, somebody from the show last night sent me a text and just said his last name. I was like, okay. I said, thank you for watching this show. So we enjoyed you being, he's like, for sure. And I was like, okay. So that was a hit you up just to see if I would respond. So it ain't that type of party, goddammit. Don't be hitting it.
Goddamn seats.
I was like, did you just hit me up after the show but without words? Because, of course, you don't want to get rejected. So he just sent me his last name just so I know who it was.
That's new.
Baby. Yeah, it was new. I thought this is different. This is different. And then I talked to my brother and he was like, oh, that dude married. I was like, that's why he sent me just his last name. Because he just wanted me to make a move so that he, anywho. Okay. Interesting. But so not easy, but love talking about sex. And so what I found that around when I started going through my certification to be a spiritual life coach, around that time, Sex and the City, loved the show. Me and my friends used to watch it all the time. Had a Sex and the City party at my house one day. So I invited all these girlfriends over, transformed my living room into a cafe, with tables, and I hired a caterer. He catered this whole breakfast brunch. And I set out all these tables that looked like we were in a cafe, and everybody came and sat and ate. And then we watched, I had the DVR at that time. And so I had all of the shows, and we watched all the shows all day long until the new episode came out at the end of the night. So it was just like this whole, we having so much fun eating and just talking about sex. And then, but along the way, everybody, we kept pausing the remote control, pausing the show and saying, oh my God, girl, my boyfriend used to do that and such. And then people are like, oh, okay, let me tell you about this technique. If you just take a banana and do this, and this. And we're like, oh, really? What? Right. So we kept stopping the show and talking about it. And so folks were like, after it was over, they were like, this was so much fun. You need to do this again. And I'm like, you know what? I agree. So after they left, my brain started churning. And I was like, oh, we're going to turn this into a group. So I sent out invitations to people and just said, it's, we're going to get together every month to talk about sex. And we did that for a whole year. And it was just amazing in terms of how people's relationships transformed. You didn't know that? Okay, yeah, that's.
I didn't know that. I'm sitting really? up here listening to the story.
I see you look astonished. So yeah, so I was like, we got together, and every month people were like, "This is my therapy. I do not miss a meeting." So we got together. People later on, at that time, my husband, who actually we were just dating at the time, he was trying to get me to turn it into something monetized, because I wasn't at the time charging them. They were paying money for the food, because every month I had some type of, like if we were talking about oral sex, then I would have some food that's themed for that. And then, or we talk about fantasy, I would have something else. So I kept trying to come up with themes, and we would come together and talk about those things. And he was trying to push me to monetize. And I think I wasn't ready yet to turn it into something that costs money, because I wasn't putting it together so that I was doing this as a job.
You were filling your cup too.
We were just getting together, having fun and talking about sex. And so when I tried to turn it into something that I could monetize, it kind of fell apart. It didn't work for me anymore, because then it was like I'm trying to sell tickets and get all this stuff happening. And it wasn't actually, it kind of didn't look the same way I wanted it to look.
Business, so I wanted really the creativity. It's like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so what I did was, and then I stopped doing it. Months later, there were women that approached me and was like, yeah, so-and-so mad at you that you stopped the group. I'm like, well, why is she mad? She's like, because it's a few people cheating on their husbands, and they said it's your fault. Because if you had the group, they would have an outlet to talk about this shit. I was like, oh my God, like, wait. And, of course they were joking about like blaming me.
Oh, I know, but wow, they cheating on their husbands.
But they were,
need the group to vent?
Well, yeah, or to handle whatever was coming up for them, because there were people that told me later on, I told you guys stuff that I had never told anybody, ever.
Oh, wow.
So the level of intimacy that we had in that group and the level of conversation that we had, it really supported people with being able, like, we need a space that we can talk about sex. We don't have that in our communities. Even if you might feel okay talking to your friends, but that doesn't mean your friends always are the people that can support you in that process. And so we had homework. So what I didn't realize was going to happen.
The damn class.
Oh, it was yes. So Spirit was using me to get that done. And I didn't know that was going to happen. So like along the way, Spirit would say, do this or do that. And so like at one point after we had our first meeting and we were all sitting up there like relishing in how good this was, I heard, okay, so now assign homework. So I had everybody, we passed around a bowl and everybody picked a name out. And so it was somebody's name in the group. And now you needed to, based on what you heard her say during this conversation, recommend a homework assignment between now and next month.
Cool.
Yeah. So if you were somebody that just complained, oh, I don't never have sex nowhere but in my bedroom. So it's like, so your assignment this month, if you choose to take it, would be to have sex anywhere but in the bedroom. And so it's like, oh, and then we're like, oh, I accept that assignment. And so all of us had unique assignments based on what each person heard you say.
Yeah. Okay, and we're like, cool. I like that. Mm-hmm.
The group was amazing. Like I loved it. And I feel like it's funny because I've been chasing that ever since. It's always been something I wanted to recreate again because it was so fulfilling for the people that were in it. It was fulfilling for me. And it was such an amazing point. And I still have the women in the group that will come to me and say, oh my God, son, you don't get how much I got from the group, how amazing it was for me. And, and I wish I still had something like that. So that was kind of, to me, what set me off on that path. And then I started doing other like, oh, let's do this party. I used to have I had like parties where we get together and do little games and stuff, like a sexy pie eating contest, a sexy banana eating contest, like different things. So again, just to get people to like, so we could talk about sex. Like, what are you enjoying? What's working? What's not working? And to me, it was all just a lot of fun.
And getting people out of their comfort zone, and giving them the freedom to be and be honest. Like, it's so freeing telling somebody something you've never told somebody ever before, and getting over that fear and the fear of judgment.
Yes.
And shame sometimes,
and we were getting over a lot of that because people were sharing stuff that they were like, yeah, like I said, that I've never, ever told anybody. And so sometimes when we have secrets or we have things that we feel like are like ways that we're being suppressed, you're going to act that shit out. You just going to act it out in ways that you don't expect. And sometimes it comes out and you be doing some stuff like cheating on your husband, like, you know, like unless you handle what's going on. Why am I feeling this way? What do I need to do? Maybe you just need the courage to talk to him and tell him what you really want. Like, you know, so we were having those conversations and challenging each other to really, like, you know, let's work with what you got going on.
And this before she got certified, y'all.
This is before, girl, bitch, I've been certified. Honey, let me tell you, God certified me way before in my heart, right? Now, let me tell you a funny story, though, because before I got certified, so I was doing all these little parties, right? So people in my life knew that I did this. And so I was like, one of my classmates at Innovisions, she was like, oh, well, yeah, invite me to your thing. I said, okay, yeah, so I invite you. So I sent her an invitation. This is on Evite back in the day. So this is back, you know, but yeah, this is back in the early 2000s. So it was around 2001, 2002. I sent her an Evite. Now, I don't know if you guys recall Evite, but a person could actually reject your Evite.
I get them every now and then.
Right. But I don't know if you remember that you could actually not only reject the Evite and say no, you could say remove me from this person's list.
Oh.
So I got a response from that person saying, remove me from the list.
I'm remembering this story.
Yes. And I was horrified because all of a sudden, so what I always wrestled with was, how am I going to be rejected by the community if I'm teaching about this? You know, for those of you who don't know, my father was a pastor. I grew up a PK kid. I grew up in the church. I grew up with, you know, understanding there were people that are going to reject you about your activities, the things you think about, the things you talk about. And so I always had looming in the back of my mind who was going to start rejecting me based on the stuff that I talked about.
Oh.
Yeah. So when I got rejected over the Evite, I panicked. Like, I really love and respect this person. And so I was thinking, oh my God, what did I examined the email. Because I tend to, I don't know if you guys even noticed for the show, I'm very it's not raunchy in your face. It's like what that mouth do. It's like, it's, you know, it's playful. It's almost like around the way to say it. So I think even the one that whenever I would talk about oral sex, it would be like oral pleasure, you know, a nice way to put it. So I examined the email that I sent.
Right, you ain't say come to the fuck party.
Right? No. And I was thinking, what did I say that was offensive? And I'm like, oh my God, I offended her. I was so scared. And I was scared to talk to her about it. And so finally, I think at one point she said something to me about it. And I was like, yeah, I saw that you declined it. She's like, oh shit, did I decline it? Girl, I said, not only did you decline it, you removed yourself from my mailing list.
Intentional.
And she said, oh my God. She said she just hit the wrong button. She said she didn't realize that. Because she's like, no.
So back then it didn't say, are you sure?
No, it didn't. I don't know. But anyway.
You think I'm believing this bullshit?
Okay, I got you. But I know that for me, I panicked, and what came up for me is I don't want to be the Black Dr. Ruth. I was terrified of that. I was terrified of how I would be ostracized by the community. And so I carried that around for a long time. So even though to me that incident was a learning lesson for me, because it allowed me to see how afraid I was, because I didn't realize I was afraid. And so over time, it took some time for me to muster up the courage to say, okay, this is really what I want to do. And that I really believe in this. And I really believe in women being liberated. So right. I think it wound up having to be that my passion and my desire for women being set free sexually was bigger than my fear of being attacked and ostracized by the community. And it's funny because I have other fellow sexologists who tell me all the time they get inboxed by people saying, you going to hell, and according to this scripture, it says this, this, and this, and you should not be teaching people this, and you are no good harlot, blah, blah, blah. Thank God I have never tapped on wood, knock on wood.
You should have let's make, if that happens, send them my way. You know, I love to tell them. What?
You gonna get them my way? Right, because I thank God I have never received that, but I've had other sexologists who tell me they get inbox all the time telling them how they going to hell, and
it will. My response be like, clearly you need some dick.
Clearly,
and this is why I do what I do. Thank you for the confirmation.
Yeah, like my aunt told me one time, and I know she would be freaked out if she even knew I remember this, but long time ago when she was in her spicy days, she told me one time, she said she got a prank call by somebody asking her, when's the last time you had your pussy sucked real good? And she said, on a prank call, she said, the last time your mama sucked it, bitch, and the person hung up. I said, I'm like, okay, so okay, you actually scared a damn prank caller. He offended, and then hung
right,
up.
Right.
So yeah, but yeah, you got to turn it on them and say something that actually is like, how dare you?
She must be a Pisces.
Oh, she is. How did you know? She is a Pisces all fucking day. All fucking day. Yeah, she's a Pisces.
That's how we roll.
And did not play. Don't play. Does not play. So she was like, yeah, she so clearly, right. I forgot. Yeah, that's your fellow sister Pisces that shocked the shit out of a prank caller.
Makes my day.
Yeah. So since that time though, I started selling toys. I went through the process of teaching women selling toys, and then that is really what I guess fortified me, made me start feeling stronger, what I believe.
When did you start selling the toy? I remember what year was that?
That was like in 2000. Was that 2015? I think it was 2015.
It was. Oh, is that recent?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It wasn't that long. Yeah, 2015. Because Lyric was born in 2002. No, to me. 2012. Yeah. She was born in 2012. And so I wasn't doing it when she was born. It was like around when she got a little older. Gotcha. And that's when, yeah. And so I went and I so actually in a good girlfriend, and this is why we all get to have people in our world that know you, know your song, and can sing it back to you. Because I didn't know anything about this company. It's Candy Barris's a bedroom candy. And she called me and said, Sonia, I just went to a bedroom candy party. And when I tell you this is right up your alley, you need to be selling these toys. And I was like, oh, okay. And she said, no, find somebody because you need to sign up. And I said, okay. So I called one of the consultants. I looked it up, found somebody in my area, called her. And she was like, oh, yeah, you can come over and, learn about it, blah, blah, blah. So I went over to her house. She showed me her kit. Girl, I started picking up toys and was like, okay, when can I sign up? I fell in love immediately with the whole like stash. Mm-hmm. At that time, her kits were $4.99. So not cheap.
No.
I said, where can I sign up? She pointed me to a computer, and I was grateful that I had at least $4.99 in my bank account. It was like right there, but a little bit over. I spent my last getting that kit, but that is how much I was impressed by the product line. Mm. And from there, what I just teaching women and going in, I think I didn't realize how rewarding it was going to be. I think more, and I remember doing like one of my maybe 5th or 6th parties, and it was rather 5th or 6th. And this woman who had been at one of the earlier ones, she had actually, after she went to a party that I did, she actually recommended that I do this bridal shower. So I'm there at the bridal shower. She comes in to place her order, and she said, "Yeah, well, I learned that I'm not broken." And I said, "Oh, you did? Where'd you learn that?" She said, "From you at the last party." And I'm like, "Really?" And from there, I would get women repeatedly, like almost begging me for information, and also saying, thank you because you let me know I'm not broken. And this is not 20-year-old, 19-year-old women. These are 40-year-old women saying that all my life I thought something was wrong with me. But what you just taught me has me realize there's nothing wrong with me. My body is just different. Everybody's body is different. But sometimes we learn talking to your partner that, something
must be wrong with you.
Something wrong with your ass. Yes, because the last girl came like this, and this is what worked with the last person, so it should work with you. You're supposed to be able to come this way. If you don't come this way, then and I've had the same thing said to me, but I had enough confidence that I was just like, nah, nigga, that's not it.
Right.
Because
we're not doing this.
I've had partners tell me, "Oh, well, every woman I ever had sex with had an orgasm." I'm like, "Okay,
you've been lied to, baby.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to break the news to you, but actually, a lot of women fake orgasm. Actually, 80% fake orgasm. So I'm like, so no, they didn't. I'm sorry, and they were saying every time with just the insertion of a penis. So that's when I knew they were lying, because I'm like, no, baby, And so then they were mad at me for breaking the news. And I'm sorry, I did not mean to crush your ego, but I'm telling you that's not the truth.
You won't break my soul. I know what I'm talking about.
And I didn't say it in a mean way. Like, I wasn't saying it in a way but I was just like, let's work together. This is my body. You're gonna have to learn how she operates. I always had this thing that she has to get to know you. Once she starts feeling comfortable, she's going to almost soften up. And then she's going to, once she kind of knows that you can give her an orgasm, it's going to happen like this. But it's going to take, it may not happen right away. And I would give people the speech. Now I have girlfriends tell me you shouldn't have gone into the speech. But I just want to put people at ease at the beginning.
What do you mean the speech?
I would be like, just so you know, this is how my body operates. She doesn't usually come right out the gate for a brand new person. It's going to take her getting to know you and feeling comfortable with you. But once we get there, she's going to come like that. So just, it's like it's a journey. And we just need to take this journey. So when people are like, now you didn't upset his nerves and you shouldn't have said that and you should have, it just lets you go in there and flounder around and try to figure out what's happening in it. Or telling me, like one guy was like, "Oh, you came, right?" No, I did not. Like, just,
You just don't, you never lie?
I have never, ever, ever in my entire life faked an orgasm. But to me, it didn't make sense for me why I would do that, because I'm thinking, well, then that's going to give you the wrong impression and I'm going to get more of the same. So I'm like, if I don't give you honest feedback, then you're not going. Now I don't say it again. I don't say it mean. I'm just like, no, that just wasn't it. It's going to take, this is what, when I have an orgasm, this works. Actually, funny story. I didn't masturbate until I had to be about somewhere around 24, 25. So never, girl, yeah, a lot of women don't.
I think I've been doing it my whole life.
Oh, I know that's right.
Like you can work the side of a bed.
I've always heard about when girls that discovered their pillow or something. It's like, girl, this is good.
Right.
And
I don't know. I really feel like it's been most of my life.
Yeah. So I used to tell myself that it's me. I know it's me. And so I'm not going to excite myself. So it's like, I can't masturbate because I know it's my hand. Like I'm not going to get excited by my own self.
She know exactly what to do.
So anyway, all this time I had never done it until I was dating this guy who was like freaked out because I wasn't having an orgasm, like had meltdowns, like, you're going to leave me if I don't give you it's like it was so much pressure that you have to have an orgasm. Now I realize, of course, that wasn't about me. It was about his own ego. But his whole thing was that if I didn't have one, he was going to die.
He was a failure.
He was a colossal failure. And I just decided I had enough of being pressured. So I went and got a book. Something about, I don't know what it was called, but it was something about, how to masturbate maybe, or how to have an orgasm. And I just read step by step. Okay, she says, now do this. And then I was like, now do this. And I actually followed the book. And I was like, this shit works. Oh my God, it worked.
What book was that, Sonia?
I do not remember the name.
Okay, you got to tell the people what the book is now.
I don't know. It was so long ago. I was 30. Yeah, over 30 years ago.
Oh, damn.
I don't know. It was just some book that I bought. Yeah, that was just this little book, but it was
Probably can Google it, y'all.
I don't even know the title. Like, I don't know. I don't even
But
know.
I mean, they could Google how to, all that shit.
Yeah,
come out.
got it. Okay, yeah. And I do have actually a book that you can get from me that's about the female orgasm and how you can actually master the clitoris. It's all about the clitoris and how you can actually master pleasing the clitoris. So yeah, so in all different techniques that you can use. But yeah, so I just tried what she said with my finger and was like, this works. And so then I was able to say, okay, this is how you do it. Then he was able to see what to do. And then thank God, then he stopped stressing me about, it's supposed to be pleasurable, but you stressing me the fuck out about having an orgasm. Just stress.
You did a service to every woman that came after you. How about that?
I did. Yes.
You were doing God's work.
I did not know it though. And it's funny because you know how you think when you're younger, like as an older person, I'm thinking back, that 20, that baby ain't know nothing. But I had just run into maybe a couple of years ago, somebody that I used to date back when I was in my 20s. And I told him, he was like, so what you doing now? I said, I sell toys. And he was like, I told him I was a certified sexologist, and he started laughing. I said, why are you laughing? He said, because that's who you were in your 20s. I was like, really? Because I thought I was like clueless in my, He said, no, you were the most advanced 20-year-old that I knew sexually. Like, you were like, oh, I'm about to go ahead and masturbate. You want to watch? He said, you were so confident and you just knew what you wanted. And he said, you just always impressed me. Like, none of the women that were your age that I used to date were like that. You were the only one that I felt like knew what time it was. And I was like, oh, damn, I didn't even know. But really, so yeah, I've been a sexologist my whole life. In terms of like, yeah, the idea that, how do we learn about this? And then how do we share that information? Because we don't get sex ed. Oh, no, we get sex ed class, but they don't teach you how to have sex.
Right.
No.
So how does one become certified?
Oh, right. Okay, so certification. So being at Bedroom Candy, there was one of the women, actually Dr. Rachel Ross from The Doctors.
Okay.
You guys remember her? She's a Black woman on The Doctors. She used to come and teach us all the time at our conventions from a medical standpoint about sex. Mm-hmm. And so she decided to start a school. And she mentioned to us that she was going to be doing it. And she was like, would you, I'm going to be certifying women, because she's a sexologist. So we were like, oh, awesome. So I signed up for her class, one of the first students when she first started the school, and went through her process. Most of it is learning. We had a lot of quizzes, learning a lot of information. I'm actually a certified clinical sexologist. So I'm also certified to actually coach.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we learned not just about sexuality, but also learned how to support people with moving through their sexual difficulties. So whether it's an individual or even a couple, how to take a look at what's not working and how to support you, first of all, in dealing with conversations that are present that may or may not be true. So things that you get to dismantle, and then also looking at, we like to say, what you want more of and what you want less of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that you can then see how to talk to your partner. Because one of the biggest issues that we have in the bedroom is communication.
Isn't that a universal issue for most problems? Communication.
Yeah, communication, very big thing. Yeah, so if you don't feel like you know how to communicate what your concerns are and what's working for you and what's not working, a lot of times it's just like just missing the mark. So both partners are trying to say, this is what I need, or this is what I want, but you may not be saying it in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And then, or you may not be saying it all, and then you just angry.
You might just be acting the ass. Like,
that happens a lot. Exactly. But though it's understandable why we would have such a hard time, because sex is vulnerable.
Right.
And it's not just vulnerable for women, it's vulnerable for men. So to be able to have the conversation and put your heart on the line and to say, to expose yourself and to, because sometimes the act can be less vulnerable than it is to actually be able to talk about it.
That's real.
Yeah. So often, we can sometimes get in there and you can hide behind your bravado and your mask and you can perform an act, but to be able to really talk about like what you feared, how you felt, what works, what doesn't work, may not necessarily be as easy to talk about.
That's real.
Yeah. But one of the things that I teach is that your brain is your biggest sex organ. So,
right.
So we get to you got to get yourself together mentally for you to really have the pleasure that you're looking for.
Get your mind right.
Get your mind right.
Get your mind right.
That's why I was like, I just knew. So I know how to reflect on myself and see what's happening. So I'm like, I noticed, like I was able to tell boyfriends, is like, I've noticed that the more confident I become that I'm going to have an orgasm with you, it just happens. It's like, it's almost like it's not really a lot about the physical. The physical has something to do with it, but really it would be my brain. Once we get my brain trained that you can do this, then the body just follows.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what, and then I just, I love it. I absolutely love talking about it. And I had a coaching session with a young lady who was talking about having low libido. And she had contacted me. She was telling me that for her, she wanted to have it maybe once a week. And her husband wanted to have it 7 days a week. And she was like, I just don't know what to do because I am too tired. I can't keep, I just can't keep up. Mm-hmm. And he's really frustrated. Like, he's like, okay, I feel like you don't love me. And so in coaching her around it, I was like, okay, so let's take a look at some of the things you can do to help turn yourself on. Because often we think that you're just supposed to automatically be turned on. And that if it's not happening, there's nothing you can do about it. But there is. You can actually like set the mood, take a bath, do certain things that will get your engines revved up, maybe relax a bit. And so I talked to her about some of those things that she could do and like where she can meet him halfway. And maybe him being starved for sex, maybe he wouldn't need it 7 times if he at least is getting it about 3, and so we talked about that. And then as I was talking to her, I got the hit to ask her, what's his love language? And she was like, it is physical touch. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. This is why
it's so
he feels like,
and
he feels like you don't love him because he needs touch. So also maybe you get to incorporate in there some ways that you can touch him that's not sexual because he needs touch. So we talked about, she's like, oh my God, this was so good because I can't talk to my girlfriends about it because they like, girl, child, it ain't my problem because I love having sex. There was nobody she could really talk to. Mm-hmm. Once we got off of the phone, I burst into tears. Because I was so grateful that she had somebody to talk to. And I feel the emotion coming up now. It was like, what was she going to do if she didn't have anybody to talk to? And especially in our communities, we don't necessarily think, oh, sex problem, let me go talk to a sexologist or a sex therapist. That's not usually the first thing at the top of our minds. And so I was recognizing for myself, I was grateful to be used as a vessel to support her in working through what they were experiencing because sex is so important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's
Sonia's story.
That is
how she became a sexologist. I mean, some of this I knew, some of it I didn't know, but that was pretty damn dope.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Living in your vision. How about you?
Girl, I have so many people inviting me now to speak on radio shows, and I actually even have been invited by the Florida Department of Health to talk about masturbation to support women with safe sex and maybe HIV prevention. So I'm getting a lot more invitations to speak, teach, and I, girl, I am living my best life. Okay,
I know that's
right. Yeah. So if y'all know somebody needs to learn about or needs to talk about sex.
Need to talk about sex.
Yes. Just
I'm like, your girl Sonia B.
Yes. Have Mike will travel. Oh, and vibrators. Have vibrators. And have toy kit will travel.
So how can everyone get in touch with you?
All right. So you can check me out on my, you can DM me on my Instagram at Cocktails with a Sexologist. And I'm also, you can DM us on Grown Ass Women Shit on the web, on Instagram as well. Yeah, you can check me out.
She on too, y'all. She on fire, y'all.
I am on fire, yes. And you can also book a party, book an event. I just had somebody book a one-on-one fellatio class, and so one-on-one. She wants me to teach her one-on-one. She's like, "How much you gonna charge me to teach me?" I was like, "Okay, that's how." Yeah, so one-on-one. Okay. I'll teach her. Yeah, I do one-on-one sessions with people all the time too, though, and I can do group, so we can do both. Yeah.
So y'all hear it?
I was gonna say also you can text or call me at 202-630-2362. Yes.
And she actually did my my girl's bridal shower.
Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. So parties, education, whatever, church groups.
Yes.
Church, the saint, like they say, the saints need to be free too.
They do. I was teaching when I first started doing fellatio classes. It was for a Christian women's conference.
See, I mean, they know.
Yeah, because they want to learn how to please their husbands, and they're like, okay, how do I get over the conversations that I've learned that good girls don't do that. So they want to be able to be in relationship with their husbands and not say, ew, no, I can't. So yes. So
y'all booked Sonia B.
Yes, ma'am.
Girl, thank you. I was totally interested. I ain't even talked that much this time. So I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
You want to take us on out of here?
Yeah. So just as a reminder, we stream. I got to stop doing the word go. We stream every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern for No Bra Wednesday, where we got the girls, the titties talking, honey. And so just as a reminder, we will have Cocktails with a Sexologist. Next Wednesday, we are going to talk about what that mouth do. But this time we're going to have a panel of women to talk about
do.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Part do. And
no, what that mouth do.
Do. Okay. What that mouth do.
You're not come up with the little.
Yes. Yes. And we are going. So if you want to be on the panel, by all means, I would love to hear your perspective on your experience with oral sex. I know, and a lot of women would want to learn from you, so we all get to share so that we get to be liberated.
Bring your brave soul up here.
Yes, exactly. So we're going to have the conversations and I will have it too, where if you don't want to actually be, your face you don't want to be on the screen, then you can just be on by voice only. But we do want to make sure we have these conversations so women can enjoy, and men, if y'all know some great penis suckers out there, tell them come join me so they can be on the show.
Are you an expert?
Are you an expert? Are you a dick sucking expert? Because we need you. We need you on the show. We need your expertise. So, all right. So, with that, we love you guys. We will see you next week.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Fresh out the oven, straight to the bank. Ben's Hager smelling like bank. Seats, somebody died on them. Kitty looking like somebody cried on it. Ooh, what you looking at? What you looking at? Body like cinnamon roll. Icing on the top if you got